Jam with Sam. Jam with Sam.
So welcome to the 33rd event of Indian Networker and
Thank
the
you.
51st episode of Jam with Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for finally being.
Yes.
I caught you that day. I think,
Yeah.
and then- so tell us something about your childhood and how different your childhood is from your kids' childhood today. What is the kind of difference you've seen over there? What has changed?
Okay, a little bit of my childhood. I'm an only child of Dr. Mom, and I think I had a fairly normal, happy childhood. I think also the best thing that I had was that my mom or my dad never put any pressure on what I should become, and I think that was great because I never thought that I was supposed to take up science like my dad or take up science to become a doctor like my mom. I showed an inclination towards art and doodling like Sanjeev here, and I used to do that, and my art teacher found that early, and she kind of encouraged me, and she actually told my mom that if you ever took her out from art and put her in another stream, I will take you to the cops. And she was the first one who told me in class 8 that the kind of stuff that you do, you should go into advertising. I had no clue what advertising was. I just thought everybody became like an artist and painted and did portraits, and I was terrible at portraits. I was more of a design and a different kind of art. So that's when I realized, oh my God, there's something like advertising. So art happened very early. I was very focused on what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do commercial art, at least in my parenting style, I don't try to be any different from what my mom was. But yes, I think we valued stuff a lot. My kids don't value, or rather the kids today don't value. So if I had that one lovely magnetic pencil box, it went on for years, and that was like my booty and my treasure, and I would not lose it. Today my kids lose a bottle each day, and a tiffin box is left without any and they're like, "Acha, naya aa jayega," like what's the big deal, right? So but they're seeing much more, they're learning much more faster than what we did. So I think I took my first international trip when I was 18 on an exchange program, and 2 days from now my kid leaves for a football tournament to Spain, and he's only 11. So it's really different in that sense, yeah.
Okay, so that's what has changed. Basically, values have gone down.
No, I don't think they've gone down. They've changed. They're just different. It's the world of Snapchat. We didn't even have internet when we were growing up. So yeah, so you have to adopt.
So you think as parents, because we do not get all those
Yeah.
stuff over there, we feel our kids should get that stuff over there, and
A
you
lot
think
of parents do.
do
Yes.
that,
They
and you think
overcompensate.
they overcompensate. So you think that is what is spoiling the kids, the values going down over
I
there?
think so.
Okay,
Definitely.
fine. So you are a visual communication expert, if that's the correct English over there, okay, and started working for VGS, Mudra,
VGC. Yes.
sorry, Mudra, RK Swamy, BDBO. What was your job profile, and tell us something about the brands you worked with over there?
So I was a graphic designer, and I was, unlike him, I knew what I was doing. Like, we don't know what servicing they did in advertising. But so I started off as a junior visualizer. and then moved on to be art director and all. So it was basically, so there's always two paths. So there's someone who does copy and there's someone who does art. But I actually love doing a little bit of copy also. But mostly I did the artwork, or if I was sitting with my copy partner and we were visualizing or thinking of a TV commercial or a radio jingle, then I would be an active partner. So I worked on a lot of interesting brands right from Taj to Aditya Birla Group to Nestle to HBO to lots of pitch work that happens in advertising. And I think one of the best things I personally feel happened was that I started off in a small company. And I was given responsibility very early. So if you're like a junior visualizer, say in a JWT or something, you are nobody for a very long time. But because I started off with VGC, which was small, and we used to handle corporate clients. I mean, we used to handle corporate communication for Aditya Birla Group. In my third month, I was going to Kumar Mangalam Birla with my boss and doing presentations. So I think that is something that you never learn in a big agency. So I did everything right from doing cut paste, which is what we used to do then, to going and doing a presentation and calling up and fixing up. I was also servicing. I was also the mundu on the job. But I think I feel as an entrepreneur, I think all that is coming back now. Yeah, and it's kind of helping me now.
The biggest advantage today is we have tools like you said, cut paste. Now we have Photoshop. Like the job is done so fast.
Correct.
So, but the people who have worked at that time over there, like the kind of they work to a lot of things. Now, if you tell a copy guy to do something over there, he says, that's not.
I remember we used to work on the pitch overnight, so we used to get up at work till 6:37, and I used to live very close to work, luckily. So I used to go back and then come back and take printouts and, just actually come in like really my shorts and t-shirt to just give print out to my boss. And so my boss, who was Preeti Vyas Janeti, she actually once looked at me and she said, "Why are you dressed like a street urchin?" So I was like, because I just went home for half and I came back, and she's saying, "No, but you're coming with me for the presentation." And I'm like, "But like I'm the junior visualizer, do you really want to take me?" And she's like, "Do you want this opportunity or no?" So I'm like, "Okay, fine." So she sent me back home again to dress up a little better and come back and go with her and present it to Kumar Mangalam. So yeah, so these things stay with you and they kind of help you when you're that young.
Correct. So now tell us something about FMC. How did it start and what possessed you the idea? I remember once upon a time, about 4 years back, you called me and about Facebook, you were asking me like, what do you do about Facebook and all. I never thought it's going to be so big over there. And so tell us something about how did this happen. That's your third baby, I think.
It is. It's most demanding.
Okay.
So actually it started off not as a entrepreneurial idea or whatever. So just to let everyone know, I'll just have to go back and give a little background of why it started. So my husband was in banking and I was in advertising, and I thought, that's like the coolest thing. We were like these dinks, and that's what the cool Indian couple is about. But unfortunately, every time he moved, I had to move with him, and my career went for a toss, because I had to start all over again. So I remember at one time when we were in Singapore, their employment level was very, very bad, and I remember going to every agency with my portfolio and not getting a job and being very disappointed, and all these things, or going to the US and having a visa issue and stuff like that. But the thing is, what I always did was I went back and studied something. So when I couldn't work, I always went back and I did a graphic course in New York or whatever. So I would always learn a new thing. But what I realized was that two things. I needed to do something which would give me some satisfaction. And the other thing is, at the same time, through this period, I was a mother twice over, and I realized that there was no platform where moms could really discuss with other moms and figure out what this whole parenting thing is, because I think parenting doesn't come with a book. You can't follow it to the T. Every kid is different, every mother is different. And as much as you would want to say, okay, if you do these 10 things, then your kid will be potty trained in 5 days, that doesn't happen, because your kid will be some stubborn dude who will not follow that, So I realized that there was a need for an Indian platform, or rather a platform for Indian moms to connect and ask each other and figure out and handhold and support each other and figure out how does it work. So it actually started off only as a small Facebook community to connect with my mommy friends, because I was the first one among my friends to have a baby, and I realized that all my friends would actually ask me, because I think in our in our generation, we don't really look upon the aunties and the masis and the buas, and we look on to Google and look on to other friends who've had babies and kind of figure that out. So that's how it started. And then I started sharing, I started blogging, I started communicating what I felt was my style of parenting. Again, there was never, also what happens I think in India is a lot of parenting jargon that comes is like, you have to do this. It's almost like this yarn bit that's always coming. And nobody wants to admit that, it's not really perfect, and it's going to go wrong. There are many things that are going wrong. There is no perfect motherhood. And the pressure on the mother is too much to perform. She has to be this perfect mom who has to be yummy mummy, has to have a career, has to have great kids, he should be topping. I mean, that's a very Indian tiger mom mentality, hello, most of us were not even yummy before we became mummies. So, how do you expect that to happen, So, it's ridiculous. The media, everybody puts this stupid pressure on women to be perfect. And I realized that they needed a space to kind of share that and be okay being okay parents or being imperfect in there, because we're all learning. And it's on, you're really on learning on the job, right? Because you have older kids, you've realized that the challenges that you faced when they were younger to when they're teenagers, they're very different.
That my wife is to handle, right?
Yeah, so exactly. So you had a wife to do that, but most wives don't have a wife to do that for them, right? So it's tough like that. So yeah, so it started off like that. Then it kind of just grew organically because a lot of moms started relating to the kind of conversations that were happening. And I think the advertising person in me realized that there is great potential in this, because I felt that a lot of brands that want to talk to parents, or rather moms, research, one of the biggest things that you can do. So I started actually reaching out to some of the people who were from my advertising contacts, and we would actually do, and for me I was very clear that I did not want it to become like a club which would connect, it has to connect every month or something. It had to be digital, it had to be everywhere, it had to go to New York, New Jersey, Nasik, wherever, So for me, I started doing stuff which was most online. I started featuring mothers who have started businesses or who blog or have had a tough motherhood journey, because there are many stories like that, because moms want to relate and want to understand. A lot of brands like Amazon to Johnson Johnson to Himalaya connected, and they realized that okay, this is a community, because it was a pure community, and they wanted to know the moms, a real mom's viewpoint, because as much as Shilpa Shetty might come and say that I use this milk and it keeps me slim, a mother like me is not going to relate to it, though she might have the same problems as me, but I'll just say, okay, no, she's really a yummy mummy and she doesn't have the issues that I have, right? So you need someone who's like you and who's going through the same issues, and you want to relate to that. So that's how it grew. And then I realized that Facebook can't do everything for me. I needed my own.
Which year was this?
This was in 2014.
14, okay.
Yeah, and I started slowly. So even everything works as a community here. So even my logo, so like a true graphic designer, I branded it. They had brand colors and stuff like that. So I blog, I do everything on it. And then when I wanted to change the logo, I actually took a poll, because I said, okay, this community is 20,000 moms. You guys decide which is a better logo. So I designed like 4 logos, and the the one that was most preferred then became the logo of the community. So everything is done as a whole thing. It's not about one person. So I get confused as a mommy blogger. I'm not, because I know there are very few women out here, but trust me, as moms, we think we have a lot of influence, but we don't. So it's just one of those. So I feel, but as a community, we have a lot of influence, and that's what I wanted to create with FMC. And that's what I do. And then 3 months ago we've launched our app. It's still in its beta version right now, and so we're doing trials with about 5,000 moms on it.
Okay.
And the community is now 40,000 plus Indian moms across the globe with Insta.
So these are only Indian moms?
Mostly, yeah. There are some, but I don't know how much of it they relate to. There are some foreigners, but mostly Indian moms, right from Ghana to London to UAE to India to China. Yeah.
So what is the criteria for moms? It's to be moms.
So earlier it was moms. You had to be a mom of a toddler or whatever, small infant. But now it's also to be moms, because to be moms also have a lot of questions, and queries and stuff like that. I know I'm talking to an audience which looks like rather like clueless, like most men about motherhood. But generally, I'm on panels which are for women, and they kind of agree with most of the things. But I'm glad that I'm talking to to people who are more men there, because I think quite often what happens when I go for panels which are for women, with women, I always say that women keep talking among themselves and say, "Hame ye karna, hame wo karna," and all that. But there is no man out there who's listening to us. We know the problems. It's the men who should know the problems. So I am glad that there are men who will probably, somewhere something will, go
Sanjeev is nodding his head.
and maybe we'll go back and say, okay, wifey, I do understand when you were cribbing
You
about
go and
that.
join this new platform which is there and get off my back.
Yeah, download the app now.
Okay. So, designing the app, you got the Android as well as the Apple version.
Yeah.
So, where did this funding come in for? How are you monetizing this platform?
So right now, of course, I knew it couldn't be done alone. Yeah. Though I was very clear about what I wanted the app to look like, because I'm a graphic person myself. So I have a tech partner, rather an incubator, who believed in my idea. So they are supporting me with the funding. And they come with the tech support, and then we go out to the big wild world of investors, which is in the process right now. And it's fun. I think it's a lot like being a new mother, because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have too many sleepless nights. I have put on weight in that last 1 year that I like a new mom. The baby weight, because you have no other time to do anything else. You're 24/7 completely consumed by this new baby. But it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Okay. So, what are the couple of social media platforms you use and which you find most effective for personal and official use? So, first you can cover personal and then official.
Actually, now it's kind of merged for me. The personal and professional is because,
That's how we got all those photographs.
Yeah. So I don't think there is any divide there anymore. But of course, I can't discount FB. As much as FB is not helpful, it's not transparent, it's so opaque, it doesn't help you, and therefore the need for me to move to an app. But that works. Insta works because a lot of
you got 500 likes on that photograph over there.
So yeah, Insta works. Twitter, I do follow a lot of international mommy communities and bloggers, because I think what they do is like amazing stuff. In India, Twitter is very different from how it's consumed, right? So I don't find that interesting, honestly, because I don't know what they're doing. But I like what happens internationally, especially in the kind of mommy humor or the kind of vein that FMC is. I prefer following the international ones because
I follow FMC, so two or three other mommy groups have started following me over there. They're like wondering, what did I do over there, to attract those mommy groups, international groups. Anybody wants to tell me, like.
They'll also jam with
Sam. Jam with me over there. So you put some on Instagram when your feed comes, I wait for that picture of yours over there which you put in. This time is that duck over there, like I love that baby, and then the baby starts crying, and then no, I don't want to do. I've been there, done that. Yeah. Where do you get all these funnies from?
See, a lot of it is created by me.
Okay.
A lot of memes that are created for FMC are by me. Like I said, I think because I'm an advertising graphic person, or I just like creating stuff, that kida doesn't go away, So I think currently I'm always fighting with the entrepreneurial side of me and the creative. So if I get frustrated at the entrepreneurial journey and say, ye kahin nahi ja raha, like today's like been a bad day, then I start creating something. So I create a meme, or I blog, or I tweet, or whatever. So there's always a constant battle between kind of balancing that bit. So a lot of it is, created by me. A lot of it is sourced the kind of humor that I like, because I think what happens is, like I said, the motherhood journey is taken very seriously now. There's too much pressure. So I try to infuse a lot of humor on FMC platforms for it to be lightened up and to not be taken so seriously. Because agreed that it's a very, very important role that a woman plays, but that's not the only thing she does, because I don't think, like, if you even go to a Twitter handle of a female who's a mom and a father, they will, first thing they write is mommy falan dhimkan and stuff like that. You'll never find a man doing that, saying father this and all. There are some who are changing, but they don't think that's their identity. A lot of moms take motherhood as their identity. It's not. You can do much more, that's not the only thing. That should not define you. It is a job that you do, but it's not the only job or only identity that you should have.
Okay.
That's what I personally
So
think.
now we come to quick gun Sam, 1 minute answer, not reading. Okay. Okay, fame.
transient, very
So you did this talk on why women
fear success.
fear success.
Yes,
So why do women fear success?
because they fear being judged.
Okay.
They fear being judged. They don't want to. If they are doing better than their husband, very few would actually proclaim and go out in the society and say, "Yes, I'm actually doing better." They'll probably try to hide it and not really show it. They're not taken seriously. You know, like the other day I went and met an investor and he said, "Okay, this is what you do," and blah blah blah. He's not even an investor. He was trying to help me there. And the second question he asked me is, "What does your Mister do?" And I'm like, "You're not going to ask my Mister what your Mrs. does, right? So why are you asking me what my Mister does? I mean, how does that matter? Maybe I don't have a Mister, you know, but that's the way it is. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't help it. So, so women fear success for all these things because there is this whole gender bias and they fear being judged and they fear the whole society saying things about them. Yeah.
Money,
Not important.
corporate life,
Boring.
entrepreneur life.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
Roller coaster.
Startups.
I think it's just a buzzword right now. Though I come from a family now where my husband and I both are doing it, but but I think it's just that business kida that's there in you which you can't.
Rahul Gandhi.
No comments.
Sunny-
Or should I say women empowerment?
Women empowerment. Sunny Leone.
Powerful.
Everybody's looking at Prashant over there. Okay, so what are the activities you do in FMC? I mean,
Okay.
just doing this app is one thing, but I mean, do you engage with the community and all over there?
I do.
Okay.
So, like I said, I do a lot of online initiatives. Of course, the entire product designing of the app that I did, and it helps mom communicate. I also do a lot of offline activities where we connect with moms for various reasons. So it could be moms getting back to work, moms who run business, so having bazaars for them, having panel discussions like this where we want to encourage more moms to get back to, say, a career. It could be anything. And now I think with this whole digital world, you don't have to really even step out. You know, you can blog from home, you can sell from home, you can create something and put it up on an FB page, and
Good.
kind of.
Okay.
Of course, you have to start small. Never think that it's going to be like an overnight success. Like he said, that you have to give it time, right? So I'm married to Gujarati, and they say you have to give it 1,000 days. So that's like almost 3 years. And I think I do believe in
The
that.
job, no? The
Not
work,
job,
the work.
the work.
No?
Ha.
Okay.
So so I think so we do a lot of these initiatives, which is also offline and online. We try to balance that bit. What I do on the app is that, like I said, that women fear being judged, and also a lot of mothers fear being judged. So one of the things we actually have on our app is where the moms can actually vent and ask for advice anonymously.
Okay.
So-
Like something like secret kind of app.
Yes, so it's like a mommy secret room kind of a thing, because there are real life questions or real issues that they have which they fear being judged even from their families, right? So they can't even ask their own mom or their mother-in-law and all. So it's because life is not those models modeling
Yep,
at
yep.
Johnson and having perfect figures. There are many issues that mothers deal with. So those are one of the things which has taken off very well, because I think that's a space that moms, really come out and
Yeah,
ask
absolutely,
whatever they
absolutely,
want to, right?
absolutely.
And they know that this is, and because there's also a wall where they connect otherwise on normal issues, they know that this is a secret walled garden where they can ask
Ask
moms
them.
exactly what they want, and they are someone like them. So yeah. that's
Okay.
good.
So just like startups, I mean, every day I learn that this business group, we are starting startup. This is startup. That is startup. Everybody's getting on the startup bandwagon over there. We are all grown ups, so I call this group as grown ups. We have been there, done that over there. There are a lot of people getting onto this mom and women and women empowerment bandwagon. So I mean, what makes you different from that?
First of all, see, I did not, like any other product or anything, where I did not launch a product or a service or anything and then started a community. Yeah. For me, it was the community.
Community.
And I think that's what the community members also value, because it's neutral. It's not biased to anyone. I've had people come to me and say, "Will you start a community for me?" And I was like, "How will it be neutral? Because if I'm doing it for an X brand
Correct.
or whatever."
Correct.
And unfortunately, or fortunately for me, what I've seen is that as much as these moms or parenting things that come, the focus is always the child. Okay. for me the focus is not the child. For me, or rather for FMC, the focus is always the woman, because I feel if the woman behind it is happy, then automatically this whole happy family happens. But if the woman is somewhere feeling that she's not living her life to the fullest, she's feeling inadequate, she's not achieved career or goals or whatever, it not be career, it could be just pursuing a hobby or doing what she wants, and as much as we might say that at Ekta Kapoor does shit, but she can see that's the pulse of India. And I see this on my anonymous platform every day, where there are women who are getting abused. I'm sorry to bring up a very serious topic, but they're getting women who are getting abused. They don't get money from their husbands, and they don't have financial independence. And there are a lot of them who are financially independent and yet can't take a step and go ahead and do things, So I feel that the people who are part of the community recognize it, that it's always the woman at the center of it and not the child, really. Because in India and in Asia, it's always like, tumhara beta IIT, IIM banega, and that is the fulfillment. Then you are a good mother. That's not true, So I think just being true to the cause and being true to what FMC stands for, that just makes me different.
Fantastic. Something about your family.
Something about my family. I have one husband, two boys. Sometimes I say I have 3 children because the husband becomes this. But I think what I do have is a great husband who totally supports me in what I do. And I think that is important, because he not only supports me, encourages me, but also is my mentor or my advisor for my community. And I keep telling him that you've started thinking like a woman, like a mom now, because he's kind of so involved in it. But I did the same when he was starting up on his own. So I was the one who designed his website and logo and everything. So we do that. And what we try to do is that we try to be friends to our boys. We tell them exactly what's happening in our life. We don't want to not tell them what's happening, because as they're growing up, I want to know what they are doing. So tomorrow if he wants to smoke and have a girlfriend, I want to know it. So if I don't tell him, I don't think he'll come and tell me. So we try to be, of course, there's also this thing of where the little respect goes down, because he thinks I'm his pal now.
Yeah. They can get away with that.
So I'm still scared of my mom, but he's not scared of me.
Even I'm scared of her mom. Just to tell you, her mom was my family doctor.
A lot of people are scared of her.
A lot of, I used to be there, and the way her mom used to fire people, na, I said, that guy is never going to come back. Next day, that guy is back over there, because they respect her, even though she's been so strict and shouting and screaming and, but they respect her. So, but she's nothing like that, like her mom over there, totally different.
You've not seen me at home.
You've not seen, okay. So, that part I don't want to know about also. Okay, and, yeah, fine. And do you think it's gotten easier for women to become entrepreneurs in India?
Of course. I think it has. I think now that the focus has come on women, I think it's high time we step up the plate and say, okay, boss, this is my time, let me just go in. Like I said, internet makes it really, really easy. And I do this series called Mommy Rebooted, where I do features on women who've actually taken a sabbatical post their motherhood journey, or even sometimes to take care of elderly parents. And then they come back and they don't want to do what they were doing earlier. And they start a business which is completely different. So I know lawyers who've become bakers, or a servicing person who's become a designer and has come up with their own product of personalized stuff and stuff like that. And they are far more happier, because there is a little bit of balance. I don't think the balance is always there, because sometimes you're a good mother, sometimes you're a good wife, and sometimes you're a good businesswoman. It can't be the same every day, right? But they feel more empowered. They're at home, they're doing stuff, they can take care of the child, family, and have a career. So I think it's a perfect time for any woman who wants to do something to come back and do it. Yeah.
Fantastic. The way forward for you?
Thank you.
Way forward, what are you going to do next? What's next?
Okay. A way forward is have many downloads of my app.
Okay.
So unfortunately, people here
No,
can't do that.
we can make fake profiles over there.
No, do not do that. You will be caught. But I can tell you that please.
Prashant, our cyber lawyer is there. No?
So, yeah, that's true. But sometimes the conversations are so weird that वो भाग जाएगा आदमी कि ये क्या बोल रही हैं औरतें. But yeah, so I want to connect many more Indian moms, and I feel that they should feel empowered. They should because they should enjoy motherhood, and they should celebrate womanhood and not be apologetic for that. Because
Absolutely.
I think we are just too apologetic for being women in this country. We shouldn't be that.
So all the men over here, I hope you're going to go home. My wife is standing there. I know I'm going to get like over there. So beautiful, fantastic, Ruchita.
Thank you
So much for coming
Thank
over
you
here.
for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much.
Thank you.